Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here, and today I'm going to be starting a little bookshelf tour series, and I'm going to be talking about the sci-fi books I have on my shelves. These are pretty much all my sci-fi books here. I don't have very many, so this is not going to be a really long video, but as you probably know, I recently redid my whole bookshelves, and so I've now shelved them all by genre, and I really love them. And yeah, I thought I would talk you through a genre at a time, and today is going to be sci-fi, like I said, because it's the first one on my first set of shelves. So let's start. They're all alphabetized generally by author surname, but sometimes where they didn't fit in the right place, I would just put them in anywhere. So yes, let's see. So the first book that I have is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I don't really know too much about this other than it is set in space, and I think it follows a woman named Rosemary Harper who is joining the crew of the Wayfarer, which is a ship that is about to embark on space, I think. And it's a group. It says the crew is a mishmash of species and personalities, from Sissix, the friendly reptilian pilot, to Kizzy and Jenks, the constantly sparring engineers who keep the ship running. Yeah, I don't know too much about the story of this. I know that loads of people love this. I feel like this is one of those books that I've heard nothing bad about. Sci-fi generally, if I'm honest, is not my genre. I don't reach for sci-fi books, but I do find that when I read them I do enjoy them, so I obviously need to read them more often. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this is a duology. It's something about spaceborne few or something. Is that the second one? But yeah, I do really I'm excited for this one, and hopefully this will be on my soon to read. Next up we have one of AJ's books, and AJ's books, bless them, they've seen better days. But we have Prelude to June by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. I've never read June as a book. I've never read any of them, actually, and maybe that's something I need to look at, because I feel like a lot of people have and really enjoy them. I think this is a sequel or something. I don't know. I'm intrigued though. I think this could be fun, but obviously I would need to get the other books in the series to read them before this one. I just know this has got something to do with sand and desert. Other than that, not a clue. Next up we have a book that I am really looking forward to, because I really love the film of this book, and this is The Circle by Dave Eggers. This follows a girl named May Holland who lands a job at a really exciting place in California, a really powerful and influential company, and it's basically a company that owns the internet kind of thing, and basically it's kind of about the sinister kind of how the company is trying to remake the world and to kind of own the world, I guess. And it's a really hard thing to explain, but I really love the movie of this. It's got Emma Watson in and Tom Hanks, and honestly it's one of my favourite movies, so I'm really looking forward to picking up the book to see how I feel like this goes. But I feel like this is going to be really good and really dystopian, so yeah, I'm intrigued by this. Next up we have a trilogy that pretty much all of you are going to know what I'm talking about. If I just do this, I'm pretty sure you can probably guess. But this is the Illuminati series. I have read Illuminati before. This is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and Illuminati basically is a book told in files, emails, CCTV footage. There's big sections of where the words are written here, the words are written here, and I really loved this first book. I never kept books before. I used to always unhaul books once I read them, and I've recently started to actually collect them. But so I re-bought this first one because I think I gave it to my sister, actually, but I really love this. And it kind of is about two corporations who are at war over a planet. And Katie, I think is her name. Yeah, Katie and Ezra are the main characters in this one. And they both end up on two different ships. And the sad part is, or the difficult part is, that they literally broke up that morning. And so it's kind of then goes from there. Yeah, I loved this first one. I think it's really well done. I think there's some really creepy bits in here, but in a really good way. And then for Christmas last year, I think, Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction actually sent me both Gemina and Obsidio, which are books 2 and 3, and I still haven't read them, and I do need to get to them. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first one, and now I want to reread the first one and then go on and read books 2 and 3. But if these are just so like aesthetically pleasing. I need to put them in the right order, that's going to stress me out. There we are. These are so aesthetically pleasing, and I love having these on my shelves. They just look really cool, and yeah, I can't wait to continue to reread the first one and then continue the Illuminati files, because these are some of my favourite looking books, and Illuminati was one of my favourite books. So yeah, I'm hoping this series is a new firm favourite. Another book that I have that's written by Amy Kaufman, this time with in partnership with Megan Spooner rather than Jay Kristoff, is Unearthed. Yes, Unearthed. This is the first in the Starbound trilogy. Is that right? I believe this is the first in a trilogy, but I'm not 100% certain how many books are in it. I'm not sure if it is a trilogy or if it's more than that. This again is, as far as I know, all I know about this one is that it deals with an alien race. I think there's like a message from an alien race, and it kind of gets unearthed. See what I did there? And yeah, I think it's from there. I actually know nothing else about this. Again, this tends to be what happens with sci-fi. I've heard really good things about the authors and the series in general, but I don't really know any details about the book. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to again starting a new series. And yeah, it's another sci-fi book that's just is a really pretty book. As I said, I've heard mixed things. But I feel like this one could be interesting. Then we have a graphic novel, and this one is Saga Volume 1. This one I was sent by the lovely Kaz from Cats and Camera for Christmas last year. Yeah, Christmas last year. And I still haven't read this one either. And obviously I need to get on with that. This is, again, a very diverse story I've heard. I don't know too much about it. It says it's the sweeping tale of one young family fighting to find their place in the universe. When two soldiers from opposite sides of a never-ending galactic war fall in love, they risk everything to bring a fragile new life into a dangerous old world. Fantasy and science fiction are wed like never before in the first volume of this sexy, subversive, ongoing epic. And what I've heard about this one, I feel like everyone talks about this when they talk about graphic novels. If you think graphic novel, you think Saga. And I know there's quite a lot of books, like a lot of in this series now, but I really like the art style, and I'm really intrigued. Like I've read a few graphic novels this year, and I've really enjoyed what I've read. So yeah, I do think this could be fun. And also I've never really noticed before, he has like horns. So I mean, yeah, I'm intrigued. Then I have the two books that end out a series that I have been reading. We have Fairest and we have Winter, which are both from the Lunar Chronicles series. Fairest is book 3.5. I believe this is a short story, or like novella, between books 3 and 4. The first being Cinder, second Scarlet, third is Cress. And I've read all those three and really loved them. And it basically is about a cyborg named Cinder, and they're essentially retellings. So the first one is a retelling of Cinderella. The second one, Scarlet, is a retelling of Red Riding Hood. The third one, Cress, is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. And then I don't think Fairest is a retelling of anything apart from, well, kind of, I guess. Lavana is the kind of the evil one in the other books. She's the like evil stepmother. So I guess she's the kind of queen who looks in the mirror, right? This is really creepy. And this is, I believe, Lavana's like backstory. I think this talks about her, like how she got to be where she is. And then Winter, which by the way is the biggest book by far of the series. It's 850 pages, and Winter is a retelling, I believe, of Cinderella. And I think Winter, not Cinderella, I said Cinderella first, Snow White even, and each book follows the same characters from the one before, but then it adds in the new ones. So like the second one, Scarlet, brings in the Red Riding Hood character of Scarlet, and Wolf, who's her love interest, and they each one, like, it brings them in like that. So yeah, I'm really intrigued, and I absolutely cannot wait to finish this series out, because like I said, Cinder has been like a revelation to me. It's a very new series, like in terms of like in my favourites potentially, if I enjoy the last one. Then we have, that was rude. Then we have the Halo box set. This is the books 1 to 3 of Halo. Halo is a game, I believe, on the Xbox, and AJ really loves it, and these are actually his books. I have actually read the first one, which is called The Fall of Reach. This follows a world where there are, I can't even remember what they're called. Let me take the first one out and have a look. There is a world where these people called Spartans, they have been essentially bred from children to they are bioengineered to be kind of like super soldiers, and they are attacking the Covenant. So the Covenant is attacking the Covenant is like an alien race, and it is attacking the planet of Reach, which is where the people, well, the Spartans, I guess, are kind of protecting, because Reach is a military fortress, and they are trying to attack the Covenant to stop that from happening. Like I said, this is the first one, and then there are 2 more. We also have the 4th book, I think AJ has downstairs. He thought it was a 3-book series because, like I said, he had this little trilogy box set, but there's actually like 10 or 12 books, so I bought him book 4 when he went away to work a few months ago. I don't think he's read it still, but anyway, I bought him those so that we potentially could carry on. So like I said, I've read the first one, I did enjoy it. It's definitely not like something that I would rush back to read, but I do at some point want to continue the series. Next up, we have Fuzzy Nation by John Scalzi. This is a book that I was sent by Leanne. This is not one I'm going to go into massive details about, because there will be a video coming up soon where I talk about this a lot more. This follows a planet named Zarathustra, I believe is what it's called. And Zaracore is this company who essentially have the right to extract supplies from this planet, sorry. And they... in doing that, you meet, what's his name? You meet a man named Holloway, who is, by all accounts, this grumpy old man, but he is a contractor, basically, to excavate on this planet, and he discovers some potentially, well, they're called the Fuzzies, basically, and it's kind of a the corporation have kind of decided that they might start eliminating the problem, because if the Fuzzies are sentient, then they are not allowed to excavate anymore on this planet. And I think this book was really, really fun, and I would highly recommend that you read this one. This was definitely not something I expected to like, but I absolutely loved this one. But yeah, like I said, I will talk about this more in a video that will be upcoming. And then the final book on my sci-fi shelves is another graphic novel, and this is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I believe this is a sci-fi book. I'm not 100% certain. There are a lot of books that I have put on my shelves that I kind of have to like generally guess at what the what the category is. So this could potentially be fantasy rather than sci-fi, but I don't really know. This is about Nimona, who is a shapeshifter, hence why I thought it was kind of sci-fi. She's a shapeshifter with a knack for villainy. And then you have Lord Ballister Blackheart, who is a villain with a vendetta. And basically Nimona is Lord Blackheart's sidekick, and it's about them trying to prove to the kingdom that this particular person, Sir Ambrosius Goldenloin, and his buddies at the Institution of Law Enforcement and Heroics are not the heroes everyone thinks they are. It's got dragons. It says on the back, Nemesis, dragons, science, symbolism, which is why I thought it was potentially sci-fi. But you know, I could be wrong. But I do really want to read this one. I mentioned this in my books that I want to read before 2021, because I do really want to read this one before the end of the year. And again, I was gifted this one by the lovely Faye from Mystery Date with a Book. So a massive thank you to Faye. I am really looking forward to this one. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting read. And again, it's got a plus size main character, and I am loving the idea of that. So there you are, guys. That is all of, as you can tell, there is a sizable like hole on my shelves there. That is the sci-fi books that I have on my TBR. Let me know which genre you're excited for me to talk about, because this non-fiction video over here, that's going to be a long video. Have a lot of those. But as I said, we're going to work through. So the next one I do will probably be my fantasy. But let me know what you think, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know what was the most recent sci-fi book that you bought and read. am intrigued. And I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!